So in this video we are going to have a look at permutations, a topic under probability. So permutations are applied when we have arrangements that have specific orders or conditions or maybe restrictions on them. Okay, so if we look here at example 1, we're asked how many numbers between 500 and 1000 can be made from the numbers 2, 4, 6 and 8 if there's no repetition or repetition. So that's two different conditions. So it essentially forces us into using permutations. So we'll start with part 1. If the number is between 5 and 1000, it needs to start with a 6 or an 8. So usually for permutations, you're best to draw it out. So for my first number, I can have 6 or 8. Then for my second number, if I've used one of those, I have 3 left. Then for my next number, 2 left. And then obviously at the end, 1 left. So that's going to give me, so that's 2 options to start with. By 3, by 2, by 1, into your calculator. And we get 12 options or numbers. Now, you might be looking at this thinking we could list them out manually. You know that we have maybe 6248, 6284, 6428, and so on. That's fine for maybe 12 options, 10 options, something like that. But often in these questions, you'll get answers that could be, 20, 30, 40, even larger, like very, very large numbers. So from a time point of view, it's not an effective solution. And most of the time, these questions are 5 markers. So it's just, again, not a good use of time. So that's part 1 answered using permutations. Part 2 then, we're allowed repetition. Again, we have to start with 6 or 8. But this time the number goes back into the bag. So that means we have 4 left. And then we have 3 left, 4 left again, we've put it back in. And then at the end, we're only going to pick out one number. So that gives us 2 by 4 by 4 by 1. Into your calculator, for 4 is 16 by 2, so that's 32 numbers. Okay, so that's example 1 answered using permutations. In example 2, we're told about the word triangles and then different questions. So part 1 says no restrictions. So if we take the word triangles, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 letters. And if they tell us no restrictions in part 1, it'll be 9 factorial. So into our calculators, no point working this out manually. So 9 factorial will give us back 362,880 words. So this type of question now, we wouldn't work it out manually. So it's all going to be answered using permutations. Part 2, the 3 vowels must be together. Again, best to draw this out. So for vowels, we have I, A, and E, and then I'm left over with T, or N, G, L, and S. So for this here, for my vowels, we have 3 options, and then for so that's 3 factorial, and here we have 2, 4, 6 letters, but overall, we consider the word to be 7 letters. Because if the vowels are letters, they come together. If the vowels are going to be together, if they have to be after each other, then they come as a block. So we consider that 1 letter. We just have 3 different ways of arranging them. That's fine. So this here then will give me 7 factorial. So I have 6 letters here. That's fine. So then it'll be 3 factorial by 7 factorial. Into your calculator. 3 factorial by 7 factorial. And we'll get 30,240 words. That's part 2 answered. Part 3 then tells us the 6 consonants must be together. So that gives me T, R, N, G, L, and S as a block. And I'm left with I, A, and E as my options. So again, same idea as above. For this here, we have 6 factorial. This is 3 letters. That's fine, but again, we treat this and we get 4 factorial. So it's going to be 6 factorial multiplied by 4 factorial. Enter your calculator. We'll get 17,280 words. Okay. Part 4 then tells us G must be followed by OR. So that gives us G and OR together as a block. And then I'm left with T, I, A, N, L, E, and S. So there's my block. Left over here 2, 4, 6, 7, and this is, we consider it to be 1 letter together. So that's 8 letters, which gives me 8 factorial. So most of the time when you break the questions down like this, draw it out kind of as best as you can in its simplest form. It usually makes the answer a bit clearer. So this gives me 40,320 words. And our last one now for part 5. We're asked it must start and end with a vowel. Okay, so my vowels then are I, A, and E. My consonants, we have T, R, N, G, L, and S. Okay, if it has to start with a vowel then, so my first one will be I, A, or E. So for that one we have 3 options, but we're not going to be arranging them, so we won't use factorial. So that's 3 by. Then what happens is we have all our letters T, R, N, G, L, and S. But if we've used a vowel here, if we use 1 vowel at the start and 1 vowel at the end, it means we have 1 left over. So it'll be plus a vowel there. And then at the end, I've used a vowel at the start, so I'll have 2 left. So at the end will be by 2, and in the middle we get 2, 6, 7. So it'll be 7 factorial. And all of that just into your calculator. So it'll be 3 by 7 factorial by 2. So that's 3 by 7 factorial by 2, which will give me 30,240 words. Okay, and that's example 2 answered. So again, just for permutations, always draw it out as best as you can. It usually helps simplify the question a little. Okay, and that's us done.